The kingdom of Indraprastha was alive with celebration. The grand palace shone under the golden glow of countless lamps, its white marble walls adorned with intricate carvings, and the scent of fresh jasmine filling the air. A grand wedding was about to take place, the wedding of Prince Arav, the fearless warrior and heir to the throne, and Princess Samira, a noblewoman from a neighboring kingdom. It was a marriage arranged by the elders, a union meant to strengthen alliances. But Arav, though a dutiful prince, felt no love in his heart. He had grown up believing in destiny, yet something about this wedding felt hollow. As the night before the ceremony stretched on, he wandered through the palace, unable to silence the restlessness inside him. His steps led him to a forgotten wing of the palace, a place said to be cursed. The halls were cold, untouched by time, with towering columns that whispered secrets from the past. At the end of the corridor, a grand mirror stood, taller than any man, framed in gold with ancient runes carved into its edges. Dust and cobwebs clung to it, yet its surface gleamed as if holding a world beyond. As Arav reached out, the mirror pulsed with a golden glow. A voice, soft as a melody, echoed through the room. "You can hear me, at last." The prince stepped back, startled. Inside the mirror, a figure took form, a woman, breathtaking beyond words. She had cascading golden hair and iridescent wings that shimmered like 1,000 sunrises. Her deep, sorrowful eyes met his, and for a moment, time ceased to exist. "Who are you?" Arav whispered. "I am Iana, the tooth fairy of this realm. Or at least, I once was," she said, her voice carrying centuries of sorrow. She told him her story, how she had once watched over the children of the land, collecting their lost teeth and blessing them with dreams of wonder. But long ago, she had made a mistake. She had fallen in love with a mortal man, a love forbidden by the gods. As punishment, she was cursed, imprisoned within this mirror for all eternity. "No one has heard me for centuries. Until you," she whispered. Arav felt a strange pull toward her, an invisible thread tying their souls together. He traced the glass with his fingertips, and for a brief moment, their hands almost touched. Then, a golden chain of divine energy surged through the mirror, burning his skin. He stepped back in pain, and Iana gasped. "The gods do not want me to be freed," she warned. "If you try, you will bring their wrath upon your kingdom." Arav knew the risk, but he also knew he had never felt anything like this before. His heart was no longer his own, it belonged to the woman trapped before him. And he would do anything to set her free. The wedding day arrived, and the palace was alive with music, the scent of sandalwood and rose petals filling the air. Arav stood at the grand mandap, dressed in royal gold, his sword hanging at his side. His bride-to-be, Princess Samira, sat beside him, her eyes cast down as the sacred fire flickered between them. But Arav's heart was absent from the ceremony. His mind was in that forbidden chamber, with Iana. The priest recited the ancient verses, asking Arav to take his vows. But the prince did not move. The murmurs among the courtiers grew, and his father, the king, shot him a sharp glance. And then, in one swift motion, Arav did the unthinkable. He unsheathed his sword, severing the ceremonial garland around his neck. "I cannot do this," he declared. "My heart belongs elsewhere." Gasps filled the air. The king rose in fury. "You disgrace this kingdom. You disgrace your ancestors." But Arav had made his choice. Ignoring the uproar, he turned and ran, toward the forbidden wing. Toward the enchanted mirror. Inside the chamber, Iana looked at him in shock. "Arav, what have you done?" "What I was meant to do," he said, pressing his hand against the mirror. "Tell me how to free you." Iana hesitated. "Only a mortal who truly loves me can break the curse." "But Arav, the gods will not forgive this." Arav met her gaze, unwavering. "Then let them come." He raised his sword, channeling all his strength into one mighty strike. As the blade touched the mirror, a blinding light erupted. The glass cracked, shattering into a million golden fragments. Iana stumbled forward, free at last. Arav caught her in his arms, feeling the warmth of her body against his. For the first time in centuries, she was real. But their joy was short-lived. A deafening roar shook the heavens, and the sky darkened as celestial warriors descended from the clouds. The gods had arrived. A divine army stormed the palace, their golden armor gleaming with celestial fire. The king and his courtiers fell to their knees as thunder rumbled across the land. A voice, deep and furious, echoed through the sky. "You have broken the sacred laws." The fairy was cursed for her betrayal, and now, you too shall suffer. Arav stood before Iana, shielding her with his body. If love is a crime, then I accept my fate. Lightning crackled. A warrior lunged at Arav, but Iona raised her hands, summoning a shield of light. Her fairy magic, long dormant, surged to life. The battle began. Arav fought with the strength of a warrior, his sword clashing against divine weapons. Iona, though weakened, used her magic to hold back the celestial forces. But they were outnumbered. As the gods prepared to strike their final blow, Iona turned to Arav, tears in her eyes. There is only one way to end this. No, Arav pleaded, we will fight together. Iona took his hands and whispered a spell. The earth trembled, and from the sacred fire of the abandoned wedding mandap, a golden flame rose. Their love had ignited something ancient, something even the gods could not ignore. The gods halted, their divine fury dimming before the sacred fire. The voice from the heavens softened. Your love is true, stronger than time, stronger than fate. Iona's wings dissolved into golden dust. Her fairy essence faded, replaced by mortal warmth. The gods had granted her a human life, a life she could share with Arav. As dawn broke, the wedding that had been abandoned was now reborn. Before the same sacred fire, Arav and Iona took their vows, not out of duty, but out of love. The gods themselves blessed the union, and from that day forth, their love became legend. Their story was carved into temple walls, sung in royal courts, and passed down for generations. For theirs was the love that defied the gods, and won.